Friends, recently I have watched Immaculate movie, which is an American psychological horror film, and this film is directed by Michael Mohan. So in today's video, we will know the story of the film and talk a little about its ending. Now, before starting the video, I have a request to all of you that if you like this video, then please hit the like button and also subscribe to the channel. So in the beginning of the film, we can see Sister Mary, who was praying late at night, and after her prayer, she goes to Mother Superior's room. Here, she stealthily steals a bunch of keys. So here it was clear that Sister Mary wanted to run away from the Catholic convent she was in. She immediately ran away from this convent with the help of the key. She starts opening the main door when suddenly we see some hooded men behind her. Sister Mary quickly opens the door a little and runs out somehow when a hooded man catches her leg, and then he twists and breaks Sister Mary's leg. Due to this, Sister Mary faints. And when she regains consciousness, she finds herself buried in a coffin where no one was going to help her. It is safe to assume that Sister Mary must have been killed in the same coffin. Now from here, the scene focuses on a young Sister Cecilia, who has come to join a convent in Italy by taking a one-way ticket from the US. She has got this ticket from the father of the convent. She did not take it herself. We understand that Cecilia was invited here by Father Cecilia, and Cecilia was very eager to join this convent because the place in the US where she was staying was very expensive. The place where she used to work as a sister was closed. Now, when Cecilia enters the convent from the main gate, we the viewers can clearly understand that this is the same convent which we saw in the first scene of the movie. Cecilia meets the Mother Superior here, who welcomes Cecilia, and Sister Isabel shows Cecilia her room, etc. Sister Isabel was very rude with Cecilia. In fact, she also says that Cecilia still has time, which means she can go back before taking the vows this evening, and God will forgive her. But after the vows, she will not be able to go back. And we can see that Sister Cecilia was very dedicated. And even after knowing that Cecilia's main work will be to take care of the older sisters who are going to die soon, still she wanted to stay at this place. So now in the story next, Cecilia meets Sister Gwen, and their vibes match a lot, due to which both of them become good friends. Now that evening, Cecilia goes to the chapel to take her vows, and there she finally meets Father Tedeschi. Father Tedeschi was very friendly, and he also helped Cecilia to take her vows. Now at dinner time, Father and Cecilia talk where we get to know a little more about both of them. Like Father's first career was in science, specifically in biology, but with time he devoted himself to this convent, and now he is a priest. Cecilia tells that when she was 12 years old, she fell into a frozen lake in Sago, and by the time Cecilia was taken out, her heartbeat had stopped. In fact, Cecilia was declared dead by the doctors, but after 7 minutes, Cecilia suddenly came back to life. Cecilia started to feel that God has saved her life for some purpose, and to fulfill that purpose, Cecilia has chosen this path where finally she has become a nun of her choice. Well, in the next scene, we find Cecilia in the chapel, where she sees a hooded figure lying on the floor. This hooded figure was wearing something like a red skin mask, and then Mother Superior also comes there. Mother Superior gives a holy nail relic in Cecilia's hand, and supposedly this is the same sharp object with which Jesus was impaled on the cross. Cecilia faints as soon as she holds this relic, and when she regains consciousness, she finds herself in the confession box. Here Cecilia feels as if some hands have grabbed her, and then she is tied in a red room where the same hooded figures are there who are stabbing Cecilia from sleep. See you get up depicting whether all this was a nightmare or not. In the next few scenes, we see Cecilia learning the ways of the convent, and one night when she is sleeping, an old nun cuts Cecilia's hair, which wakes Cecilia up, and she takes the old nun back to her bed. Actually, Cecilia's job was to take care of these old nuns. Now here Cecilia notices that the old nun had a cross-shaped skirt on one of her legs. Well, the next day when Cecilia was talking to Gwen while taking a bath, Cecilia suddenly vomits. Cecilia gets herself checked up by the in-house Dr. Gallo. Shortly after, Mother Superior calls Cecilia to her room. Now when Cecilia goes to the room, Father Tedeschi, Mother Superior, Cardinal Merola, and similarly, there were senior members of the convent who were in a very serious mood. The thing was that Cecilia was pregnant, and this was not possible because Cecilia was a virgin. That is, she had not physically evolved with any human being till date. In such a situation, everyone started considering Cecilia's pregnancy as a miracle, and Cecilia was treated in the entire convent as if she was the Virgin Mary. Everyone believed that the child growing in Cecilia's womb was a blessing, and he would be the next messenger of God. Now, even though everyone was happy, Cecilia was not able to understand how the miracle happened here, and if it happened, then why did it happen with her? In fact, once while vomiting, Cecilia also lost a tooth which was weird. Now there was a nun in the convent who was not happy with Cecilia's popularity, and she was none other than a sister Isabel. Isabel tries to kill Cecilia by drowning her, saying that all this should have happened to me. Isabel would have killed Cecilia, but at the same time another person saved Cecilia. Fortunately, even after all this, the baby growing in Cecilia's womb was harmless, and now Cecilia demands to go to a real hospital. But the father said that the convent is the safest place for Cecilia, and he will make sure that such an accident does not happen to Cecilia in the future. Right after this, we see that Isabel killed herself by jumping from the roof of the convent, and the word was that she was not mentally stable, but you horror lovers must have understood by now that yes, something is definitely wrong in the convent. Now, not only you understood, but after this death, Cecilia also started suspecting that beyond convent something is going wrong inside the convent. In fact, Gwen had started suspecting more than Cecilia. So much so that one day Gwen starts shouting in front of everyone saying that the superiors here are suppressing things, something is wrong here, etc. Due to her actions, Father Tedeschi and Deacon Enzo take Gwen somewhere. Now that night, the painting of Mother Mary falls and hangs in Cecilia's room. Cecilia sees something written behind that painting. There was a particular section of the Bible mentioned, which was to be changed 11:14. And when Cecilia checks that section in the Bible, it was clearly written that sometimes the devil calls himself an angel. We can understand this as a warning. After reading this, Cecilia starts investigating inside the convent, and she finds her file in a drawer which contains the details of her past. There was a record of the accident incident. This was because the father and superiors of the church already knew about Cecilia's past. Now Cecilia hears some voice and following it, Cecilia reaches a room, and inside this room we find Gwen tied up. There were some hooded people here who cut Gwen's tongue. Cecilia was shocked to see this, and then the same old nun comes there who had cut Cecilia's hair. This old nun gives her a cross made of Cecilia's hair, and Cecilia was scared and tells them that we should run away from here. Hearing this, the old nun becomes very serious and says that Cecilia will never be able to get out of here. Now the next day we see that Cecilia was bleeding a lot as if she had a miscarriage. In such a situation, Father Desi and Deacon Enzo take Cecilia in the car. They start taking her to the hospital. After they leave, a nun notices that there was a chicken feather under Cecilia's bed. She pretended to be bleeding to escape from there, but in reality, she had killed a chicken and smeared its blood all over the body to make it look like a miscarriage had taken place. The nun immediately calls Father Tedeschi and tells him all this. Father Tedeschi stops the car on the way. Seeing the father's expressions, Cecilia also understood that her lie has been caught. Cecilia tries to run out of the car, but Father Tedeschi and Deacon Enzo catch her and take her back to the convent. Cecilia is tied to a chair, and at this point the father reveals everything about what is going on inside the convent. Actually, before joining this convent, the father was a genetics expert, and he got blood samples of Jesus and bonuses, etc. on the nail relic of Jesus. In short, he got the genetic code using which he was trying to bring a new Mossy in our world. Now, of course, he could not get permission to do such experiments anywhere else. That is why he joined this convent where he has been impregnating sisters with the help of this genetic code for the last 20 years in the hope that the child born will be the new Mossy. Till date, he has done this with many sisters, but every time the fetus either turns out to be deformed or is unable to survive. But finally this time the child growing in Cecilia's womb is completely healthy, and the same child will become the Mossy of this world. That is, when Cecilia was unconscious, actually the hooded people had impregnated her with this genetic code. Now to tell all this, after that, Father cuts burning crosses on Cecilia's feet, depicting that the same thing has happened with many other nuns as well. That is why Cecilia had seen a cross scar on the feet of an old nun. After this, Cecilia is held captive, and then the scene changes where we see Cecilia in the in-house clinic of Dr. Gallo, where Mother Superior was also present, and after the doctor leaves, Cecilia attacks Mother Superior with a cross and kills her. Then Cecilia tries to escape from there, but her water breaks. Somehow Cecilia chokes Cardinal with her rosary and kills him. Then she goes to Father Tedeschi's lab and thinks of setting it on fire by pouring ethanol. Then suddenly Father comes there and tries to manipulate Cecilia. In fact, he also attacks Cecilia, but in this scuffle, Cecilia somehow manages to kill Father. Now Cecilia enters the catacombs of this convent, where entry of any nun was forbidden. Inside the catacombs, Cecilia sees the dead body of Gwen. It is said that the nuns killed in the convent were hidden or buried at this place. These nuns were often killed by the superiors here, and the same happened with Isabel or Gwen. Cecilia tries to escape from here, but then suddenly the burnt father comes here who had escaped alive from the somehow lab. Here again a scuffle takes place between them, where the father tries to take out the child by cutting Cecilia's stomach, but Cecilia stabs the father in the neck with that nail relic and kills him. Now you can ask how Cecilia got that nail relic. Well, during the stampede, Cecilia picked up this relic from the chapel. Well, now Cecilia finally comes out of the catacomb, and in turn she had also come out of the convent. At this point, Cecilia has to deliver her baby herself, which was brutal. Now we are not shown what Cecilia's baby looks like, but we can hear his voice, which was not at all human-like. This voice was like that of an animal, and Cecilia was also very fond of seeing this baby. In such a situation, Cecilia picks up a stone lying in the yard and hits this baby. At this point, the film Immaculate ends. So friends, this was the story of the film, and there is nothing special like theory in the film. However, if we talk about the end scene, then it was clear that the child will not be human but of the devil, because in the film we were clearly told in a verse of the Bible that sometimes the devil calls himself an angel, and here we are talking about mostly Father, who that he was no less than a devil. So yes, the child born through a satanic process will not be of an angel but of a devil. That is why the voice of the child was like that of an animal, and the child was not crying even at the time of birth. That is why we see Cecilia throwing stones at the child, depicting that she must have killed the child. All too, we were neither shown the child, nor was it shown whether Cecilia really killed the child. I mean, she was the mother of the child, and if she had a change of heart at the right time like in Bollywood film, then Cecilia might have thrown the stone on the side of the child. But still, I believe that yes, she killed the child. Your thought may be different from mine. Do tell us in the comments. Now, the name of the film is Immaculate because it means free from sin, of course. It depicts Cecilia because Cecilia had not committed any sin till date. In fact, she was a virgin now, although at the end of the movie, she killed many people to save herself, but suppositorily it was killing of devils. So it should not be considered a sin. Overall, this was an okay movie, whose last one-shot scene was quite heart-wrenching. In fact, I liked the entire climax part of the movie. So friends, this was my explanation, and that's all in today's video. If you liked the video, then hit the like button and share this video. And if you are new on the channel, then subscribe us, because we keep bringing such videos on our channel. I hope you liked this movie explain video. If you want to see more similar movie explain videos, then you can watch this video by clicking here.